Hey, I hope you don't mind, but today we're going to have a little bit of a vinyl ruckus, as they say. Yeah, I'm going to bring the ruckus and show you where you can find some new, great audiophile sounding records that aren't premium priced. Interested? Well, don't touch that dial. So when I created United States of Analog a couple months ago, I really didn't know exactly what direction it would take. I really didn't want to know because I wanted to see where the channel would take me and take you. I tried to say yes more than no and not second guess myself because I'm usually risk adverse, but I want to thank you for your support so far, and I hope you'll indulge me now by watching this video because I know videos about vinyl traditionally don't make analytics very happy. But there are people in the vinyl space that do it very, very well, and I want to shout out to one, Melinda Murphy, who I'm a big fan of, and I'm a subscriber, so check her out. I wanted to make this video because I've been noticing there is a record label out there that's been, in this reviewer's humble opinion, killing it lately. Killing it. I'm talking about a name that's been in the game for many years. But I'm not talking about those $200, 300-gram pressings on Swedish ultra mega vegan vinyl in a quad fold sleeve stuffed in a faux walnut collector's case. I'm talking about good old regular vinyl weighing in at 140 to 180 grams that for the most part are coming in around 20 to 40 bucks. There's some exceptions, but I'm talking about some real bangers here that have got me thinking. Do I really need the super expensive super vinyl UHQR deluxe editions when I can just carefully select from a list of hidden gems out there? To be completely honest, I've been disappointed with some of my north of $100 audiophile records lately. I haven't bought any since I got MoFi's Thriller months ago, and I'm thinking I can live without. Now, the label that I think is really knocking it out of the park lately is, drumroll please, Rhino Records. I know, right? That division of Warner that started out a few decades ago putting out vinyl and CD compilations of older acts. Here's one of my favorite compilations they did. Look at this. This CD collection of the Ramones. Weird Tales of the Ramones. Yeah, they did oddball records, compilations on CD, on vinyl. They're still around, and if you check the fine print on the label or the hype sticker of some of the better standard releases out there, you'll see the Rhino mark. Now, before I show you a dozen or so really exceptional pressings that don't require you to pull your credit report, let's go to school and get a little history lesson about this great manufacturer slash label slash distributor. Rhino Records launched in 1973. It started as a record store in Los Angeles. I didn't even know that till recently. Co-founded by Richard Foos and Harold Bronson, Rhino quickly gained renown among music collectors for its eclectic selection of rare and vintage vinyl records. By the late 70s, they ventured into reissuing out-of-print and obscure music albums. And the label gained a reputation for its commitment to high-quality mastering and creative packaging. Notably, they released Wild Mania by the Turtles, and it was one of their first big successes. In the 80s, Rhino made a mark with its innovative and humorous marketing campaigns. They introduced the World's Worst Record series, featuring comically bad songs which grabbed attention from music lovers and critics alike. On to 83, Warner Music Group acquired 50% of Rhino. They got them greater distribution, allowing them to continue to reissue classic albums and curating cool comps. Rhino Records in the 90s played a pivotal role in the revival resurgence of the analog format. And they've undertaken extensive projects for artists like the Ramones, Gabba Gabba Hey, Frank Zappa, the Grateful Dead, the Monkees, and many more. They even got into TV and film, and I'm guessing that you probably have some kind of version of the Sopranos soundtrack somewhere in your house. In 2008, Warner wisely bought the remaining half of Rhino, preserving the brand until the end of time. Thank you, Warner Brothers. Thank you, Bugs, Daffy, and Elmer. Just in the last year, Rhino started an online order-only division called Rhino High Fidelity, and I have their first release to show you coming up. It's on the list. Wow, I'm exhausted. Can we go to recess now? All right, let's head on over to the bar now and flip through a haul of some recent great sounding and looking albums that I've found at reasonable retail prices. They all have the Rhino moniker somewhere on their packaging, though it's not always obvious. All right, let's do this before I change my mind. I'm not going to change my mind. We're going to do this because these are super cool. All right, let's do the one I mentioned previously. The Cars. This record is fantastic. I don't know what to say about it other than it's Kevin Gray, original analog master tape. It's sold out. You're going to have to go to the secondary market to get this, but it was a limited edition of 5,000 from Rhino High Fidelity, their online only division. This thing is incredible, and I hope you can find one. Just a prime example of the quality work that Rhino's doing. Now, I've heard that a lot of these didn't fare well in shipping. Luckily, mine came in perfect condition. In the last few years, actually the last year, I've become a super fan of Curtis Mayfield. I've always loved soul. I grew up outside of Philadelphia listening to WFIL when I was a kid, and my dad was stationed at McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. We got Philadelphia radio, so I grew up on a lot of that soul and Philly soul. And Curtis Mayfield, man, I've really come to appreciate him in the last year or so, and I've been picking up as many Curtis Mayfield records as I can, and Rhino has been reissuing great versions. Here's a Start Your Ear Off Right that I just picked up yesterday, as a matter of fact. It's a double album, Curtis Live. It's outstanding. And Kevin Gray, coherent audio, cut from original master tapes. There you go. Regular price. That's not, like I said, an audiophile priced record, but it's completely audiophile. Here's another one remastered. Doesn't mention Kevin Gray, but There's No Place Like America Today. This one's super special on translucent blue vinyl, kind of a turquoise vinyl. Just Curtis. His debut solo album after he left what? The Impressions? I think it was. And this one, I don't know. Let me make sure this is right, because you know what? This is my favorite Curtis Mayfield release, and it comes with this killer. Slip mat. I think that's what you call it. I should know that. Yeah, Rhino Entertainment. This came out about 2 years ago, and it is another great example of the fine work that Rhino is doing. This is not sponsored by Rhino, by the way. Rhino, reach out to me. I'd be happy to be sponsored by you at this point, but yeah, no, I'm just become a super fan, and I've just seen their name. A lot of times you got to look at the back of the record on the very bottom in the very fine print. It'll say Rhino Entertainment. Now this one's a sleeper. This one came out, well, let's see, what is it? It's September of 2023 now. I think this one came out a couple months ago. Billy Cobham's Spectrum. Now, nowhere on here, on the hype sticker, I don't even know if there was a hype sticker on this, because normally I peel them off and stick them on, but nowhere on here does it say Kevin Gray and Coherent, but it's a Kevin Gray cut from Analog Masters, and Rhino, they're doing such great work all the time that they just didn't feel like they even had to tell you that it's Kevin Gray. You know? Great jazz, Billy Cobham's Spectrum. Remember, a lot of kids in my high school were listening to this. A lot of the cool kids, man. The cool kids. This comes on beautiful, transparent vinyl, clear vinyl. My wife picked this one up at our favorite record store, our favorite independent record store. And you should buy independent. You should buy from independent record stores. This was from Piranha Records in Round Rock, Texas. We were in there shopping, and my wife said, I want this. And I said, I didn't even know you were into vinyl. She says, I'm not, but I'm into NXS. And there you go, another great Atlantic Rhino release from Warner. Again, super clear vinyl. In every case, the covers are heavyweight, really great printing. They've really gone to great lengths to reproduce the labels in most cases and the album covers. How great is that? Does that take you back? All right. Admittedly, I am not a Doors fan. I got burned out by the Doors, which is ironic or coincidental because they were kind of burnouts. But I got burned out by the Doors sometime in the late 70s, early 80s. But this record here might just get me back into the Doors. This is Original 1971 stereo mix remastered on 180-gram vinyl. Really fine job that Rhino did on this. It's the Electra stamp, but it is Rhino Entertainment, and it's got the rounded corners, and it has the, see, you see this? Do you see, can you see what it's doing there? It's like the original. They didn't have to do that. This one's pressed in Germany, a little sticker on the back there. They didn't have to go to great lengths to do this. Now, I know there are super expensive audiophile versions of the Doors LA Woman out there and all of the Doors albums. I got this for just the regular retail price, somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks, I think. And you just have to choose wisely. Again, from Rhino. Maybe I'll get back into the Doors, who knows. Now, a band I never left, Van Halen. All right, now I know MoFi is coming out with a bunch of Van Halen releases, but do I really need to spend $125, $150 on a MoFi Van Halen release when I can have 180-gram vinyl, lacquer cut by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman Mastering, remastered from the original analog tapes right there. Just standard retail from Warner and Rhino. Great, great Van Halen record. Now here's a guy. This guy on Rhino. Again, this just came out as a MoFi version, but I don't feel like I need it. I've got the limited edition glow-in-the-dark vinyl from Rhino of Warren Zevon, Excitable Boy. Warren Zevon. Take your pick. It's got glow-in-the-dark vinyl. MoFi doesn't have glow-in-the-dark vinyl. I have glow-in-the-dark vinyl. Here's a sleeper. This one might be hard to find. I got this one actually shipped to me from Germany, but you may be able to find it. It's been going in and out of print for the last 2 or 3 years. Guitar player Eddie Hazel. What's it called? Games, Dames, and Guitar Things. And it is the first time on colored vinyl, 1977 solo project from the Parliament Funkadelic guitarist. Beautiful baby blue vinyl. What do they call it? Electric blue. I call it baby blue. I agree to disagree with you, Rhino Records. Now, who doesn't like Los Monkeys? Huh? Here, this one has I love this little sticker. This is usually your sign of quality here. The start your ear off right. I said ears, but it's start your ear off right. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones. Limited edition green vinyl. Dark green vinyl there. Monkeys' 4th #1 album. Get into the Monkeys, man. Some of the greatest musicians of all time played on the Monkeys records. And more of the Monkeys. This one's super special. Double album. This one's on the Rhino label. It's upside down there, but it's on the Rhino label. Interesting story about this. There's all kinds of extensive notes in here. Interesting story about Michael Nesmith. Apparently he wasn't too happy about being a monkey most of the time. And this is actually burned in or cut in. This photo of his face, they had to put, because they couldn't find a picture of him smiling. This is kind of a half smile. They were wearing JCPenney's clothes because they had some kind of licensing deal with JCPenney's for this album and this photograph, and he was just not happy about it. So they took a headshot from somewhere else and stuck it on this JCPenney shirt. I think that's kind of funny. I love rock and roll stories like that. And I love, yes, Fragile. Now, I've got a couple of recent Rhino releases from, well, this one's not too recent. This goes back a few years. Cut from the original analog master tapes by Kevin Gray, Coherent Audio, pressed on 180-gram audiophile vinyl. Yes, Fragile, one of the great albums of all time. A progressive rock banger. A great rock album, great classic rock album. I've been a Yes fan. I'm not big into prog rock, but I've been a Yes fan since pretty much when they started. This record, again, regular kind of retail price, very, very nice packaging, solid packaging, gatefold, got the original book, everything. I mean, they did it right. They did their homework on Yes. Here's one I got at the most recent record store day. I haven't even opened it or heard it yet. I just love the Roger Dean art so much. Yes, live at Knoxville Civic Auditorium. It's a double or triple, I don't remember. I'll have to look. I've got to count. I think it's a triple. 1, 2, 3. It's a triple. And I have it. I haven't even listened to it yet. Who's got the time for a triple album? Not sure who cut this one. I haven't done the research. I haven't gone into the run-out groove yet to look for any initials etched in there. And this one, I've been playing this one over and over and over again. We're taping this in September 2023. This has just come out. Double album, Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense. The first time the entire show has been put on vinyl. There may be a couple extra songs on here that weren't on the CD or something like that, but just regular black vinyl. They've got the original booklet in here that you kind of make part of the cover. And that's what the cover, when you don't slide the booklet in, looks like. So, you know, Rhino doing it right. These are all, for the most part, with the exception of the cars, what I would call normally priced, you know, at retail records. This thing sounds amazing. I mean, why? Why was I spending $150 on Audiophile Records when a lot of times, like I said, they left me disappointed? So way to go, Rhino. Keep up the good work, all right? And that's it. That's a wrap. I'm sure there are many more great titles from Rhino out there, and many more to come. I love their Start Your Ears Off Right series and the $50-ish Cars release on their High Fidelity label. It's one of the best sounding records I own, and I'll stand on top of Chad Kasem's coffee table and say it. I know it's not a competition, but you know what I mean. Do yourself a favor, get yourself some Rhino. You just might find an unhyped, secret, cut from original analog tape, Kevin Gray mastered hidden gem, or just an old favorite title that sounds like new. Hey, you've been in the United States of Analog. Thanks again for your support. Hit some of those buttons down there for me and list some of your favorite Rhino finds in the comments below. I'll see you next time. All right, I'm going to try this for the 4th time because there's been a guy across the street that's been running his leaf blower for the last 20 minutes. Action.